folks, welcome back to the channel. You join me today on the driveway looking at the Trooper. It's a job I've been meaning to do for a little while, but I keep putting off. Our last outing I noticed that my wheel arch was a bit loose and a bit wobbly, so we've come home and we've discovered there's a bit of rot on the inside of the wheel arch there. So today we're going to pull the wheel arch off, have a look at it, see what we need to do. I think the bumper's going to have to come off, and I think I'm going to have to strip all the back out, because I won't be able to weld the wheel arch with my fridge, my water tank, my drawer system and all that in the back. That's probably going to be more of a job than the welding itself. But first things first, we'll get the arch off and we'll have a look and see how bad it is and how far we've got to go. So let's get that off, I'll bring you back. When I built this truck 6-7 years ago, I knew the arches were a bit of a trouble spot on them, and I did give them a coat of stone chip, and then the body got sprayed in white. So any welding we do now, we're going to have to get rid of the stone chip and get back to the steel. But there you go, the arch is fitted with stainless steel screws or stainless steel bolts, so it shouldn't be too bad to get off. We'll get the tools out and rip it off and have a look and see what's going on. Well, you can see there she's a bit worse for wear. The whole rear flange is gone. She's going to need some attention, but nothing we can't sort. I didn't know how far it had gone or how much it was going to be, but I think it's going to be, I ain't going to know till we get it cleaned up. But I think the next job, get a wire wheel on the angle grinder and have a look see. But I think if I'm going to go to the effort of stripping it out and doing it, I think it's going to be a whole new arch. Now you can't buy an arch for this, you've got to make one. Made one before for my old blue truck, not too bad a job to do, but there you go. You can see where before, well, I stone chipped it. I just stone chipped a bit round there to try and stop this happening, but maybe it was too far gone and maybe I've trapped a bit of the moisture and shit in there. But not a bad repair for me to do, because it's whatever I do here, as long as I keep it within the confines of the wheel arch, it's not going to affect the paintwork on the truck. So I haven't got to be too, I say too posh or too clever. My skill level's not going to make it too posh or too clever, but we'll get this cleaned up a little bit and we'll have a look and see how far we've got to go. But if this side's gone and I'm going to have to strip the back out to weld it, I can see me doing the other side while I'm at it. So it's two rear wheel arches. But there you go. It's not ideal for me outside on the drive this time of year, but that's it. I can't do much about it. So we're going to get a wire brush and a grinder and we'll come back and have a look at it. Yeah, well, that just confirms what I thought. Look, by the time you're pissed about patching all these bits up, I think we're better off just cutting the whole wheel arch out all the way around, 2.5 inch, whatever it's going to be, and just put a whole new piece in. That way then we know the rot's all gone, we can cut out the outside, new bit of steel, make a return on it, and then we'll just weld new steel back in on the inside to catch that. But there you go. Look, we've got a bit, it goes back that deep. We've got a bit of a job on here now, folks. But there you go, not much I can do about it. We've got to crack on and get it done. I'm just wondering whether or not I'm gonna have to strip me stuff out inside. I know up on here we've got vinyl on the inside of the truck, well, that's underneath me floor, but we've only got to come across to here somewhere. Now, do I want to risk setting my truck on fire, or have I got to strip all the back out? I know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to happen. So I think it's pull the bumper off. and then arch off the other side, arch off this side, because if we're going to do it, we're going to do both. We're not messing about. We'll do both, make sure they're both good, paint them up, and then get it all put back together. But I think the interior is going to have to come out. I'm hoping that if I remove the fridge and I take this top carpet off, I've got a new bit of carpet for this anyway, which I've had for ages, because I was supposed to recarpet it once I reconfigured my fridge as part there missing. So I've got new carpet anyway. I'm hoping if I take the top layer of carpet off, this drawer system in the back is separate from that. They're just screwed together. This drawer system's old. It came out of my old blue truck. I put it in this truck. It bolts down to the floor using the same bolt holes where these used to bolt to. So there's 4 bolts holding it down, and hopefully I can unscrew the front section and leave that in the truck, because that's in front of where we're welding. Hopefully I'll get away with just removing the drawer, but still a lot of work in taking that out. But I've got no other option, no other choice. It's got to come out. Well, that's this arch off, and probably not quite as bad, but it definitely ain't going back together like that, is it? If we're stripping it out, and cutting steel, we're cutting steel. So there you go, both arches. I know that the arches don't help because they trap the shit and the dirt in, but I think more of it's on the back side. I know I do clean it well. It hasn't been cleaned since the last outing, but it don't normally sit with loads of mud on it. But I suppose it's getting on for 25-year-old now. So there you go. Only so much you can do, isn't there? So that's that. We'll get it stripped out, get some fresh steel put in, and I'll go get her back fighting fit. I am going to, since I've put my long arm kit in this, since I've made those long trailing arms to put the axle back a little bit more, it does rub on my bumper now on full flex. So if I'm going to change the arches, I am going to cut my bumper a bit shorter, but also I shall, for that to happen, I shall have to cut this back a bit. There's probably an inch there to play with, so I will just move this back an inch, and then it shouldn't rub on my tyre anymore on full flex. But there you go, that's the task in hand. I suppose next job is to start emptying this rear drawer, get that fridge out, and get this box out of the way. I'm not going to risk welding it with all that kit in the back. Last thing I want is a fire. So that's it. I'm going to put it there for a sec, get these arches put in out the back garden, and start emptying the back out, get it ready for the strip out inside. That's the bumper unbolted. Just had to disconnect the fog lights. They go up into the light clusters. I'll pop the light clusters out, disconnected the fog lights. I've done the same with the tone electrics. It's got 6 bolts holding it on. They're all out. It's just hanging on the threads of these last 2 now. So we should be able to get underneath it and lift it out. Not bad lifting that off. Mud flaps come with it. The receiver hitch all comes with it. It's all one piece. Not bad at all. So we're getting somewhere now. I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up, and I think we're going to start stripping out the back. Now the fridge slide itself is bolted into the truck. That bolts through this top plate here. There's 4 bolts. The water tank will come with it. I've just got to release a clip there. The water tank and the pipe will come with the frame. Should all come out together. So that's nice, and or should be nice and simple. And then it's just removing the plywood and the drawer system and my cubby boxes at the front. That's where I keep all my tools. I've got spares in that one, oils, tools, few bits and bobs in that one. This one's got my chainsaw in, my first aid kit, a few other bits and bobs, but that's all tucked in. That stays in the truck all the time. I just like my camping gear in on the flat floor. So keeps it all safe and neat and out of the way, stops it rolling round. But at the moment, it's all coming out. Well, it looks like it's coming out. So we'll see. Well, that's the drawer, the fridge, the slide, and the water tank all out. That comes out in one unit like that. It's should be easy enough to put back in. The fridge just plugs back into the side there on an Anderson connector. But yeah, that's it. Got a few straps and a few bits and bobs to move out there. We should be able to start taking this decking out. But I don't know if I would have to leave the front half in or not. Might have to empty it all out. Might all have to come out. We shall see. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up, get all this stuff carried around, put into the shed, and then come back, have this top off and see what we can see what the next steps are. What, we're getting somewhere. I think now, if I pull the seats forward, I think I'll be able to remove these plastic trims on the side, the vinyl covers on the wheel arches, take my bum mats out, and I think I'm going to be safe to do some welding. I think I'll have to leave the front section in, which is spot on. Well, I hope I can anyway. But look at the amount of crap I've accumulated. Oh dear, we're getting into it. We're getting right into it. Still, there you go, it's got to be done. Got to save the old girl. But I think we've only got to weld 3 or 4 inches into this section. Sorry for the camera angle. Only got to weld 2 or 3 inches into that section. So I don't think we're going to be getting too far in. I think I'll be able to leave the front section in, which is good. Well folks, that's it. I'm not going to do no more today. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go and have my roast in a sec, but we're back down now to the wheel arch. We can weld now without any problems of any fires or anything smouldering and set fire to my truck. I've managed to leave all my kit in the front with my charging system and that, and just take out the drawer in the back. Now I'm not going to strip that side out at the moment. I've got this side out and I've laid it over onto that side. I should now cut and weld this side, build this side back up, and then lay that side over this side. Just makes it a little bit easier. I've got to find a home for all this stuff in my shed as well. So if I can leave some bits and bobs in the truck, that'll help me out no end. But that's it for today. Next time I see you, I shall be doing some sheet metal work and we'll be getting the old girl put back together. So make sure you stick along for the rest of the video and we'll get this old girl ship shape and back out on the lanes. Right folks, welcome back to the shed. This week, obviously I've been getting home, it's been dark after work, but I've been cracking on, done a little bit. I've got some scrap plywood off site and this is my plan. I don't know how well it's going to work, but this is what I'm proposing to do or hope to do. So I've got some plywood, I've cut out 2 halves, so you've got that side there. I've laid my plastic on. This is my plastic wheel arch that fits on the truck, so that fits on there nice like that. So you've got that side there. This is the offside rear, so the other side is obviously going to be the near side rear. Sorry about that shaky camera. That's going to be the near side. So my plan is to bolt that piece of steel in. It's a 1.2mm steel. I've then made a little tool which I can change the settings on it. Obviously I've gone for 40mm. I think 40mm is going to be a bit too much, but I'd rather have a bit too much than not enough. So I've then bolted my steel in. I've scored round there to make a line. So we've got a line then all the way around to give me a 40mm lip to bend in. So I'm going to cut this out with my shears, my air shears, cut this out, and then I'm going to bend that lip back over so that I've got something to bolt my arch to. I'm going to do that while it's in this form. Obviously I'm going to have to put a couple of relief cuts in it. I'm going to relief cut it, bend it round, weld those relief cuts up, so that's all done here on the bench and it's not distorting the metalwork on my truck when I'm doing it on my truck. Once I've then got this cut out and bent round, I'm then going to change the setting on this, maybe to like 60 or 70 mil, and go the other way, take it out of this wood, and then go around the edge and score it all the way around, so that my new panel that I've made then is going to be like a 60 or 70 mil piece. I should then be able to use the same tool on my truck to go score a line. I should then be able to cut that out with the air saw, and then this part should weld in near enough. It's not going to be bang on, but it's going to be much better than going in blind and just winging it as I go. This way I should be able to form two repair panels that are exactly the same, opposites but exactly the same, and it should give me a good head start on my truck. Now I know this is flat, my truck got a little bit of a curve in it, but I want to try and get this cut and bent round, and then when I take it out to the truck, if I've got to do a couple more relief cuts just to get it to tweak around a little bit, that's fair enough. But I want to do the majority in the shed while it's easier to weld and I'm not distorting the panel work on my truck. It's just going to be here flat in the shed. So let me get my air shears out, I'll cut that and I'll bring you back, alright? So you can see that's cut out now. The old air shears struggled a little bit. They're not the best air shears in the world, but I think that 1.2 is just a bit too much for them, but it's cut it, it's better than a grinder. Right, I'm going to just put this up in the vise now, make sure I get the right side, do a few relief cuts and then start just forming it round. But as you can see what I mean, that's the near side. I want to do the off side first, that's the way I've got the truck set up. So I'm going to go this way, but I'm going to go this way. So get this up in the vise and then start cutting it and just start tapping it around, and hopefully we'll start forming an arch. I definitely think this is too much, but I'd rather do too much than not enough. I can always make this panel, weld it in and then trim this back in the truck if I need to. That won't be a hard job. It would be definitely hard to try and add a bit in the truck. So I'd rather have a little bit too much, but we'll get this in the vise now and see if we can start forming it up. Well folks, I've done it. I don't know if that's gone as well as I hoped it would have done, but you can see now I've got an arch shape there. I'm going to have to just weld up some of these little reliefs here. I'm going to get them welded up, get it polished back up, but that's pretty much what I was after. It's by the time I've now gone around there and scored like a 60-70 mil mark, that should give me my repair panel. I haven't bent these over or cut it because it's a bit long at the minute. I don't need it that much, but the plastic arch should fit in there. Let me just grab that. There you go, look, you can see what I mean. The plastic arch fits back in there now, perfect. Obviously I only need enough material that's going to be behind the arch. You can't see that, but I'm going to cut some of that excess off. But let me get them slits welded up and I'll bring you back once again. Well folks, I've spent a bit of time welding them bits back up. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. I'm not going to get a job at Rolls-Royce next week. But for my old trooper, that's going to be more than good enough, trust me. So I'm going to knock it out of the template now, and I'll bring you back and show the arch. And there she is, the replacement arch that nobody seems to make. So there you go. What do you think to that? I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I'll show you the back side. Obviously that lip there is still way bigger than I need. You can see there how deep it is. I think it's 40 mil. It's probably going to end up being more like 25, 30 mil. But I'd rather get it welded into my truck, and it'd be easy just to trim it there with a slitting disc on a grinder, just to what I need. But that's like that. Let me just grab my arch. I think that's the right arch. No, that's the wrong arch. There's the right arch up there. Shed's a bloody mess. that's how that's going to sit. Obviously it's got to, talked on me, obviously it's got to have a little bit trimmed off it still yet, but that's going to sit up in there like that. So all I've got to do now is decide how much I need to cut off my truck, and then I shall, like I say to you, I shall, once I've decided what I'm going to trim off my truck, I shall change my little gadget here. I shall knock it out from 40 and put it to 60, and then I can drag it around there. I can score all that, how big I need it, and then cut this out, and then I can use this same tool on my truck to score a line. So it's going to be plenty near enough for what I want. But I'm quite chuffed how that's turned out. The heat hasn't done too much damage. There's a little spot there where it's just got a little bit sunk. The heat's just killed it a little bit. But like I say, my plastic arch is going to cover all this anyway. This is just structure to hold my plastic arch and to seal my truck back up. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Well, yeah, look, we're back out on the truck now. Just going to give you a little bit of a look at how the panel's going to fit and what it's going to look like. Obviously I've got to cut all the old crap out first, but that panel is going to go up there like that. Give you a nice new arch. Once I'll just try and wedge you up here a sec. Once I get this all cut out, obviously once I get the excess cut off, I'll be able to tweak that in and just get that a bit of a better shape. But there you go, that's the start of it anyway. So a little bit of work gone into that, but I think it's easier and better spending a bit of time making that patch, that repair patch, to try and do this in one hit rather than pissing about. So next job, obviously not today, but the next job is get this cut out, get it marked up, cut out where I want it, and then get this one cut out, marked up and put on, or tacked on, and then we can start addressing the inside and joining it back. So still a bit more work to do, slow and steady, but I think we're going to get there. I want to try and do the best job I can. Morning, back out on the truck today. Out the front, I've got that arch, I've marked up. I'm going to cut 50mm off all the way around. 50mm just takes us back to that point there where it bevels over. So I think 50mm is the cut. I've got the air saw, the compressor. I'm just going to go around there nice and gentle with the air saw. Don't want to spray sparks and that everywhere. I'm just going to cut around there now and peel that bit off as best and as tidy as I can. Well, I got a bit carried away there. I had a mate turn up to take some bits off this trooper behind me, and the camera went flat, so I put the camera on charge and I forgot to get it back out. But I've got that tacked in now, that's only welded in. That's only the outside, obviously I've got to tie the inside back into that, but it's gone in quite well. I say I'm not the best when it comes to welding thin sheet, but like I said to you, this is all going to be covered up by my arch, so as long as my arch goes back on, that's going to bolt back up nice and neat, and it'll be good as gold. So need to just tie these corners in, get them tied in. I'm going to give that a quick flash over the flat disc, seam sealer, couple of coats of white hammerite, and that's it. I'm not messing about with it. That's I'm not going for a showroom finish, obviously. It's just to get my arch back on to make it secure and sealed up. So I'm going to trim this side back a little bit just so my bumper can be a little bit shorter, so my tyre don't rub on full squish. And I've got to tie this end back in, but I'm pleased how that's gone in. It's the day got away from me a little bit. Like I say, I had a mate come round for some bits off the other trooper behind me. So I'll get this tied up a little bit and I'll bring you back. Well folks, I've finished this side. I had the camera out of me all day. I haven't really filmed anything to show you today, but it's all done. It's had a bit of primer thrown over it just before I seam seal it and finish up, but it's all done. I've had my arch back on, my arch fits. So not the best job in the whole wide world, I know that, I'm well aware of that. So don't tell me that in the comments. I know it's not the best job in the world, but my arch goes back on My arch goes back on, and you can't see none of it anyway. So there you go. Once it's all been painted up, back sorted out, be able to get my arch back on. I've cut this end way back now, so I can shorten my bumper a little bit. But there you go. This side's done and dusted. Didn't bore you with it all. There's lots of tacking, lots of welding, but it's back together. It's solid, and it will do me. Hello again, legends. We're back out on the driveway. It's been a little while. Weather's been really poor to me. It's been raining like hell, as you all know, and obviously I'm out working on the drive, struggling with the weather. I had last weekend off because we was away on the lads' weekend in Butlins, but this morning we're back on the drive. Got some seam sealer over that weld now. I did mask it up and tape it up a little bit. If you've ever done any of that, you know it sticks like shit to a blanket. So I've masked it up. I know some of you won't be happy with that finish. I didn't want to spend the time and effort grinding it back, just because it's more sparks flying all over me paint and more heat put it back into the body panel. So for me, that welded joint there with seam sealer, by the time it's painted and my arch is back on, that's going to be perfect for me. So it might not be for you classic car restoration lads, but for me on my off-road truck, that's going to be perfect. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to spray a bit of primer over it, and then we're going to give it some white hammerite. I'm going to do the bottoms again in black where the bumper goes, the end of the rock slider, but the bodywork's just going to be white hammerite, a couple of coats of that, and then we can get the arch back on. I'm going to start the other side while this is dry. I'm going to start cutting out and welding up the other side. So I'm not going to show you that process as it's exactly the same as this side, but that gives you some idea of where we're at and what our next steps are. Right folks, well there you go, that's that all primed up now. Red oxide primer, it's had a good thick coat, should protect it. Just wait for that to dry now and go straight on with the hammerite, inside and out, all the way around, looking nice and tidy. I've done that, and then I've moved on to a bit of underseal. The inside cavity there where I've welded, although all the steel was primed with the weld through primer, in that cavity there now I've just blown a load of underseal to protect the inside steel and stop it rotting from the inside out. Now I can put these little rubber flaps all back up, seal those back up, put my vinyl back over the wheel arch, put my plastic back in, and then that side's built back up. I'm just waiting to do the white on the outside. I am going to have a bit of paint job on my wheel arch as well. This has got a crack in it, so I've got a bit of filler there to do and a repaint on my wheel arch, but that's only cosmetic. That's not the end of the world. These have been painted a few times, but to be fair, they get painted every year, resprayed every year, just to keep the old truck tidy. But that's it, bit of white paint now, get this side built back up and finished. Well, there you go, that's it all done. It's had a couple of coats of white on it. The red oxide's bled through a little bit, but that ain't gonna matter to me. Bottom's been blacked, inside's all been done white. And there you go folks, all back on, done and dusted. You'd never know. Still got to give the black another coat, and obviously put my bumper back on, but that can wait for another video. I'll show you that next time I'm out laning. I'm still deep into this side, but we're getting there slowly but surely. There you go. If you've stuck along this far, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.